It's better than a $220,000 payday. Now, to answer your question, why would I ever burn my business? That right there, my friend, is called motivation.
On a chilly winter night at 10:30 p.m., the Mayville fire station sounded an alarm. Firefighters rushed to the Mayville diner, which was engulfed with dark smoke. The fire itself was contained inside the building, and the fire department was unable to extinguish it from outside. Yet they deemed it too dangerous to enter the building. The fire department then called in an excavator to remove the metal roof, which was actually found to be multiple layers of roofing that was added over the diner's 70-year lifetime. Eventually, firefighters extinguished the fire, but by that time, half the building was already completely destroyed. At the scene was Mike Ellis, owner of the Mayville Diner. He reported that he was at the diner only an hour earlier and saw no indications that there was a fire. But when he got home, he received a text stating that his diner was on fire. Other than that, he knew nothing, he claimed. After the fire was put out, the fire department began investigating the building for the cause of the fire. They were unable to locate a heat source. An accelerant-sniffing canine was brought in, but also yielded no positive results. How the fire was started remained a mystery. The fire department and police department assigned a fire detective to the case. The investigation started with the business itself. The detective found that Mike had only owned the diner for the last 2 years, and during that time, many employees had quit. The business was simply not performing well financially after Mike had taken ownership. To add to Mike's financial troubles, he was also going through a divorce. The detective interviewed Mike's ex-wife, who told the detective that she had seen Mike's car near the diner at about 10:15 p.m. This was in direct conflict with Mike's statements at the scene of the fire, where he said that he had left the diner for home slightly after 9:30 p.m. The detective requested surveillance footage from houses and businesses nearby the diner and indeed found Mike's car leaving the diner at 10:14 p.m. That is exactly 13 minutes before the Mayville Fire Department's fire alarm rang. The detective called Mike into the station to address this discrepancy.
Since you've owned it, what have you done to it?
My most recent purchase was a $5,000 point of sale system. I just made the last payment yesterday. I put in new appliances in there. I've done new lighting. They had terrible lighting in the back. We put in fluorescent lighting the first week I was there. Just general upgrades. Nothing like major construction or anything.
This $5,000 of this point of sale, what is that? Is that
It's the touch screen like you see in restaurants.
Yeah.
It's that system. Because I was having, people were skimming and I was done with the honor system and it was time to just, they couldn't skim anymore. It's been a long problem. I've had several employees that have been let go, long-time employees that have been let go. It's been, this last year has been rough.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard.
Yeah.
I make one move and everything else falls down.
Just explain why last year's been rough, so I kind of have an idea.
I had to let 3 long-term employees go. I started going through Switch because it was all handwritten tickets, honor system, write the prices. And I found one girl, I told her, look, you've got to charge the right prices. And all they kept telling me was it's too expensive. I said, I pay for food, it's got it,
So she was actually...
It was $100 one day undercharge. Just one day. I said, you're done.
She wasn't...
She was giving free drinks, not charging for drinks, undercharging food, giving fries away. Every little bit counts when you're a small town little diner trying to make it. So the next couple I thought would fall in line, and they did for a couple months, and then it went right back to the same thing. So in July, I parted ways with 2 more. And said, look, you gotta go. And they were there a long time, and that made the town upset. And so I had a lot of people mad at me. A lot of people. A lot of business gone, like $1,000 a day. So And then recently I just had 3 more that left, probably 2-3 weeks ago. The turnover's been horrible lately.
And 3 more left?
Yeah. They actually shut my restaurant down on a Sunday when I wasn't in town. 10 o'clock in the morning, they all walked out and closed the door.
So 3 more than left just a few weeks ago?
Yeah, probably been 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, yes, sir. I get a good crew going, and it's like something else.
Has there ever been an issue with you paying someone? Okay,
No,
so
they always had their money. If I didn't have it in the bank checking account, it was out of my pocket.
Why did you say the 3 left like 2 to 3 weeks ago?
Just went and got different jobs. That's why I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think there was any begrudging or anything like that. I would never imagine that. But then again, who
Right.
who knows?
Okay. So at this particular time, how many employees do you have?
8 to 10, at least.
What is your position there? I know you're the owner, but do you cook or do you do anything?
I used to cook like every weekend, but now with divorce and I only get my kids so often, I've kind of stepped back so I can see my kids because I only get weekends with them. So I've kind of backed away. So I mean, I'm like the one that, like at night, I'll call up the money, I make the final walkthrough, I check things, I fix if they say, oh, the grill isn't working or the breaker popped or the fryer, it's always something stupid. It's not really anything wrong. But I have a full-time job anyways, so I mean, I'm working a 40-hour job during the week.
Who oversees like the books and all of that?
That's B&C. I have an accountant that does it. B&C Tax in Westfield.
And is that a company or something? Or is
Yeah, B&C Bookkeeping, I call it, yeah.
bookkeeping?
Mm-hmm.
So what do they do? So when you make certain money per week, you take your receipts over to them, or what do you?
I take my receipts monthly for like any expenditures, but then they do payroll for me, and they all I have to do is like from that system, I zap it to them, and they can do everything from that.
Absolutely.
It was a great system.
Yeah, 'cause I run a business. I know that side of it can be very taxing because you got to pay, your sales tax and all that stuff to the state at certain times, and there's a lot to it. So you're basically the one who just collects the money, you fix things, and you just oversee the operation of the. And how's the business actually doing right now?
Since July, it's been not very good, just because the local people are really mad. I got rid of the longtime employee. I mean, they made the comments, but after September, you won't have anybody. I mean, it's just a small town, and they're mad. I knew it was going to happen, but I never imagined it would be as bad as it was.
Right. So you said a little bit ago, that, I mean, when you let the three long-term people go, it just a whole bunch of locals.
I lost a lot of regulars, and yeah.
So you lost a bunch, and what do you, on money-wise, what did that do?
It cut it in half.
Cut it in half?
Wow. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, today was $600 a day. I mean, I know it's winter time, but usually it's at least 1,000. It's just been upsetting,
Yeah.
I got divorced, that didn't help. They picked a side too of that, so.
When did you start a divorce?
It's been a year, October, so this was finalized finally.
Took 1 year.
It did. And I got, she got $1.
Yeah, ended in what?
I'd say it was, I think the Judge Cass signed it in September. I believe it was September 11th he signed it, actually.
Oh boy. Do you have children from that? And as far as the business itself, who's the insurance through?
I have Erie Niagara for the building, and I believe AM Trust is my work comp. It's all through Mabel Tremaine. Derek Dawson is my rep or whatever. I think I called him multiple.
In Erie Niagara was the building. And AM Trust is the
work comp, I believe.
workers' comp. And do you have any idea what type of?
No,
No idea what it's worth.
I don't. All I know is he said you were covered. Sometimes that's scary.
And let's see here. Have you made any changes to the insurance?
No.
In any?
Nope, just the renewal came up just last month, I believe, for the year. No, it's been the same since I started 2 years ago.
And are you down in any payments to any food vendors?
Maple Vale, I think I have $1,000.
It's not bad.
No. My main supplier is U.S. Foods, and I pay them weekly. Just actually paid them today.
Yeah, the only thing I've heard from, of course, the rumor of Mayville, just showing up tonight, was just that you're down in taxes.
Yeah. With the business being there.
Yeah. And you know to what degree, or?
Probably, I think it's sales tax is like 12 or 15 grand. But I'm on a payment plan with them, I'm paying it.
Sales tax?
Yeah. Or maybe we'll talk quick, huh? I know what they're saying. I'm just...
Well, I don't point any fingers until I get all the facts.
Right.
And from there, we determine on where we need to go with investigations and what have you. But at this point right now, dude, I feel bad you lost your business. And all I can do is try and make sense of the real facts. No one else will ever know about it out there. But it's important for me to know with some of these things. We always talk about insurance to every fire across the county. We have to know that stuff. We have rights to find that stuff out too, but it's easier to hear it from you.
Right, why I need to...
Yeah, than to just dig.
Let's get this thing over with.
But do you know about property taxes? Are you down at all, or?
No, I think I was $1,200. I think my school's $1,200.
Okay, and food vendors, and all your employees have been paid.
Yeah, every week.
Are you in any other financial debt, like truck payments, house payments, anything like that to anybody?
I have 2 vehicles.
But I mean,
Nothing with business. No. Oh, no. I try to keep my personal, everything, separate. I go put personal money into this to make sure the girls are paid and that everything's running. Keep it moving.
So if we always run, on every fire, we run a background of financial on somebody. We just do that. And the insurance companies who actually can do it, and then they give it to us. Anyways, they're not gonna find that you're down on a new truck or anything like that as well.
No.
Payment wise, nothing like that. All right. And you are living with who now?
Amy Nowakowski.
Can you spell that?
Nowakowski.
Okay. And
She helps run it during the day. She's kind of like the manager.
okay.
She gets all the phone calls.
All right. And how long have you been with her?
You're in a couple months.
1 year. Okay. And so today, your actions today, what did you do today from, let's say, noon on? So it's
I was at work until 3:30 in Portland.
okay.
I work for
So
JD Northrop. I'm a supervisor.
and you worked from when to when?
I was there at 5:30 this morning, and I got done at 3:30. I got home about 3:45 by the time I got from Portland. Took a shower. My kids got there. We went to her parents on Potter Road. Had dinner and put up a Christmas tree. And I'd say we were back home by 7:15 because I have to have my kids home at 8.
You took your kids home?
8 o'clock, yep, over on Elm Street.
That was at 8 o'clock?
Went to 8 o'clock, and I went to the grocery store. Took that stuff home, watched some football. And then it was halftime, and I came up here because I had to do the drawer for the day. And I always make sure the doors are locked and everything. My security system hasn't worked for a year, so I'm a little leery because I get calls sometimes that people are wandering around,
And what were you driving?
On that red Chevy pickup, like work truck. I just need that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I was up here probably, I would say it was like 9:30ish, 9:15. And I was here for only 15 minutes at the most. I went back home. I was in bed when I did all this. I got the thing on my arms finally.
Where did you park it?
I always park at that back door because in the winter time there's piles of snow out front. You can't get to the front door, so I go on that side through the back door. The rest of the dining room door.
And were you with anyone?
No.
And what time did you approximately say you were there?
I'm gonna say it was between 9:15 to 9:30ish I was there. And I was back home at probably 9:40 at the latest. I mean, I didn't look exactly, but
Okay, and okay, then exactly look at your time. And then all of a sudden,
I heard the fire whistle. And I might have the page on my phone to, because I'm on the rescue squad. And that was at 10:38, I think it came across. 10:28. And I was here by 10:35.
You're at 10:30. Oh, you ran over.
I flew up here, not to like the living room.
Okay. And while you were there, you got the monies, right?
Yep, did the daily till. Yep. Closed the door. Walked through the kitchen, like I always do.
And you obviously, you'd put money, like, was it in the register or something, or was it?
What I do is, I take, the extra, we leave a base of $100 in the register, so we put it in a green envelope, and I have a little lockbox under the counter, and that's where it's at. And then I take the, whatever else to take and put it in the bank.
Walked through a kitchen?
Yeah, I always check, make sure grills are off and burners, and just, I don't know, kind of anal about it. Make sure the vent fans are off and
What's the heat set at?
I believe I try to keep it at 62 because they get hot. They're I got baseboards and they're old baseboards, so they want it over cold and I'll keep them down low. And then there's also,
Is it set, what type of thermometer is it?
it's just a
Just
a dial thermostat anybody could mess with if they wanted, but yeah, there was one at the front door and then there was two in the back dining room. And then there's a forced air AC and heat unit on the roof, well, it used to be. And that's usually set at 70.
Forced AC unit?
Yeah, AC and heat, it's a, heat pump, whatever you want to call it. This was there when I got there.
You don't see any?
It was actually on the roof.
Oh, okay.
It sat up on the roof. It was that little white box you saw.
And what part did that heat or cool?
The whole restaurant.
Oh, the whole
It had duct work, but the baseboards just kind of helped take up the slack in the winter because today they shouldn't have been on high at all because it wasn't that cold.
Okay. In the back, from where we were facing, so that's the side door that goes in the dining room. To the left, there's an area there.
That's another dining room we don't usually open unless there's like a bigger party.
Right, yeah, that's the
Sometimes you guys use,
Yeah.
Yep.
So, how is that heated?
There's an actual wall-mounted propane heater that the only person that ever used it is me, because the girls are afraid of it because it's a flame. And we only turn that on if we know there's a party gonna be coming. We'll turn it on. I'll go up in the morning and turn it on for them, but it hasn't been on. And that was the first thing I ran to John Crandall. I was like, you get that propane tank on the back when I got here because I didn't want something happening. Propane wasn't even on until it was off.
It hasn't been on.
No. I started it once, like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, just to make sure for the season. And then I turned the valve off, it's got an inline valve, and I shut that right off because I didn't want, nobody touching it. I don't think anybody's eaten in that dining room most of the year because it just hasn't been busy enough. We've had a couple parties, I think, is all.
When you were in there, so you walked through, so we talked about you went in, you got the money, which is a normal thing, walked through the kitchen, make sure all the grills, burners, vents, doors are locked, all that shit's off. Doors are locked.
I'm gonna walk back out.
Did you do anything in there while you were in there?
No, I did do it. I peed.
Yeah.
I did do that. Because I was coming through the kitchen through that side door, where the men's bathroom is. And just. The POS system did an update also.
Okay. And has there been any construction done on the building like recently?
No. Nope.
Any wiring issues?
We have breakers pop periodically. I've had an electrician look at them. A lot of times it's just the breakers are bad and we change them. Or he changes them, I don't. I don't like electric, it kind of scares me.
Who was that electrician? Who did you normally?
Tim Sanderson from Westfield.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy. He hasn't been around in probably a month and a half. I had a fryer that was acting up, and all it was the reset button on the back had to be reset. So really no hard wiring, that he's done anything.
Let's see, we talked about it was baseboard heat. There's 3 wire style.
Right.
Those electric baseboard or
There's no gas in the building, everything's electric in there.
older style, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's 3 in the dining room and there's 1 in each bathroom. And 1 by the front door.
Okay, and then so you have those, and then separate of those is the forced AC unit / heating unit that was on the roof. And where does that vent out to? Is that just is there ducts that?
Yeah, there's like where the ceiling was kind of like a drop-down ceiling. There's ducts across the back of the restaurant, like where you walk in from the parking lot. And they come down the sweet spot side all the way down the front of the restaurant to like the front door.
So it's constantly just blowing a little bit.
Longer, yeah. No, and the thermostat for that is right by the back double doors where you walk out to the parking lot on the wall on the right.
When's the last time that was serviced, if you know?
I never have had anything with it. think when we first got the place, like the first winter, I think I had to have somebody look at it, but I don't remember when.
In all the dial styles, you just keep the 62.
Yes.
And you only really turn those on if it's like really cold out.
Right,
Because then you gotta have,
extra heat.
yeah. Because then people cooking and all that kind of stuff, there's
It
always.
throws the heat off, right? We were just trying to keep the back door shut, like to the kitchen, you know, the back door, the small door, because the house apartment doesn't like that open, so that's kind of kept the heat down into the kitchen a little bit, so, but
Gotcha.
it was 40-some degrees today,
Right.
so.
But necessarily when you go there at night, you don't really touch the heat, you can just.
I glance at it, or if I hear them clicking, I go and look and say, why are they on, you know what I mean, because they click.
And today, did you notice any of that? Okay, there's no construction, in that back area. So as, where you were on the sidewalk, you're looking at that side. Yes, Steve. All right. Wow. So I call that the back left corner, because your front is more to that old part.
Yes.
That you're not a part of. Right. Right. So that's the front. So if I go to the back left corner, that's that dining area.
The extra dining room?
The extra dining room that has that small little propane, and that's the only gas heater that's in
That's all it is,
there.
you know.
Anything else in there would have caused a fire?
There's a storage room off to the right, and that's where we keep like our paper products. We have a freezer back there, some cleaning supplies, just like Christmas decorations or what seasonal decorations are in. We also have a freezer room, like when you walk. Wow, you can finish right.
Yeah, just 1 second. So I'm just gonna. So it's a separate dining room. There's a storage room to the front of the building from that?
Like when you walk in the back doors down the stairs where you get
Yes.
to come in the dining room,
And you go left.
if you go straight ahead, there's like a wooden wall.
Mm-hmm.
There's this door that you can open there, and there's 4 freezers in there. That's where our freezer stuff is. That's like the freezer room.
Yep.
So that's
4 floors.
4 plugged-in freezers right there.
And how old are those?
I'd say there's 2 of them that are within 5 years, and there's probably 2 of them that might be more than 5 years. The commercial, you know.
And they were commercial style?
Yeah. I think one of them was like a home one that they had put in there, but the rest of them were heavy duty.
What else is in there?
Nothing in there, but like in the front of the restaurant behind the counter is that also that refrigeration unit, the old one from the original restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
That's got compressor work and electric under it.
Well, let's just keep to that one back corner.
That's
This
it.
one right now, let's just that.
That's it.
What lights are left on when you left tonight?
I always leave a light in the kitchen, just over like the window, the serving window. And then there's always the light over the counter where the register is. That stays on, it's like one fluorescent strip. And then, I think that's it. Those are the only lights we leave on.
So the one over the counter register,
Yep, and then the one in the kitchen window, which is on the back, in the kitchen. I just do that so the girls can see and come in the morning.
so the one in the kitchen window that faces out to the,
Like when you're standing there, you see everything out where the serving window is, where the light was out, there's a light above it.
to the serving window,
Yeah.
kitchen window or serving window.
just a double strip LED. The fluorescent, I don't know what it is.
Right.
Just the one over the actual, like the serving counter on the flip side. Yeah.
Okay.
Just to see the girls can see.
Two. Is there any video?
I don't have any surveillance, no. I thought about it.
And there was no fire system.
No.
Was there smoke detectors or?
There's an Ansel system in the kitchen that, heat, it's by heat it's triggered. And then we just have our smoke detectors. Or I'm not saying, our fire extinguishers.
Okay. We're almost done here. So commercial style, we do freezers. And then moving forward, there's another freezer, you said.
It's like the refrigeration right behind where the bar is, where the counter is, the guys like sit. There's like four or six doors right there, and it's that original part of the car, the stainless.
Any idea how old that is?
It's original, from 1950. I always thought that was the Old Faithful because it never quit. There's a display case there, refrigerated display case also.
Okay.
I don't know how long Spencer you've been in the restaurant.
Display case.
For like all the baked goods, cookies and the pies and all.
And that is.
Remember where the half wall used to be?
That's really, it's cold. It's a refrigerator.
That's been there for 4 or 5 months now.
Okay, so the refrigerator in the corner, you said?
It was actually like right where the half wall used to be, where you paid, where you walk up the counter and pay.
Half.
I took that half wall out and put that on refrigeration.
Okay, so that holds the pie.
All desserts.
Excited.
Then down from that, there's 2 Pepsi refrigerators. Coolers, I should say.
All right.
Then of course, you got all the coffee pots, the juice machine. You got that stuff on the counter right across from that. A hot chocolate machine.
Those aren't requiring power though. That every moment to stay. I mean, you would have to turn it on in order to.
The coffee pots have to be on, but the juice machine, there's lights on them, but I mean, they're always plugged in.
Yeah, they're just plugged in.
And the juice machine's refrigerated.
Okay.
It is. There's my ice cream maker is in that corner, also going into the kitchen.
But any issues with any of those things? Well, we're going to obviously, I'm going to probably head out of here, head back across. The investigation on this isn't going to take place until morning because it's
I get it.
fucking dark. And I'll be quite honest with you, I'll be surprised on if it shouldn't be smoking as much as it is right now, but there's still going to be hot spots. So they're going to be putting more for another hour. That takes us to 3 o'clock, so then we're just going to have a sheriff's car sit there overnight. That probably won't take place until after they start rolling up all the hose. They do all of that shit. It's probably going to be 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll have a sheriff's car there, and then I'll be there quite early. What are your plans today?
I was gonna go to work, but if I don't need,
At some point, what we're gonna need is probably some type of a drawing
of the layout.
of the layout.
Okay.
They don't have to be perfect.
Okay.
we can give you a piece of paper to do it on, and a pencil.
Okay.
At some point. And if there's any other questions, obviously, then just make yourself available on your 365-91.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
And,
I mean, if I didn't have 5 guys working under me, I'd say I wouldn't work, but, I mean, I'm just in Portland, so.
right, as long as you're available by
Yeah.
phone.
Oh, yeah.
And at some point, I don't know, we gotta make sure that obviously this wasn't a set fire in any way, form, or another. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so there's some video that has to be drawn, and then we'll know exactly timelines and all that shit, but at this point, that's about where we're at, so. But that's gonna be down the road, so, at this point,
You want me where to go next?
well, you've done what you needed to do, you got a hold of
No insurance?
Derek, and that is the start for you. And at that point, obviously he'll be there. That's the other thing. I know he's going to be lurking around tomorrow, I'm sure, because of the fact that it's a business, and I'm sure that it was insured probably quite heavily. But that in itself, to be quite honest with you, is going to trigger the insurance company to probably have their own investigation team come in. They will do all kinds of background, financially, and everything.
It's probably gonna be a long road, huh?
It is, yeah. Nothing goes easy with these. No, nothing goes easy. So, yeah, these insurance companies don't like to fork out hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, what is the agreement between you and Bob?
They're on the insurance also, so they're like the they're on the lost payee part. So I believe they get their money right off the top.
Okay.
With the balance of the mortgage.
You don't have any idea how much you owe?
I think it's 180. I don't know. It's funny though, and I don't know if this is something, but Derek called me like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I know you're gonna pay your bill." He goes, "But the Bonars have called every day wanting to know if you paid your bill." So once I paid it, I got the confirmation. I sent her a screenshot of it, and I said, "Here, FYI, it gets paid." I don't know. I mean, they were very tight with the one girl that I fired. She was there 16 years. So I just don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm not trying to say.
You did get rid of, who were they?
It was Robin Patak, she was the first one in April. And then Renee Koski in July. And Kim Baker. But Kim came back and was working for me.
Then 3 others that left you.
And Kim left again on me. And Jessica Dean, she was a cook. And Shannon Kresick. But those two went to Mexicali to work, so I just think they were looking for a different job. I would hope nothing.
Yeah.
And,
It's like all basis. That's all. So, who worked last tonight?
I would have to, I don't know. Let me see if I can pull it up on my POS thing. I don't usually go into this, so I'm not sure.
What were your hours on Monday?
We work 6 to 2, they're open.
6 to 2 p. every day?
Yep.
And that's Monday?
Sunday we stop at 1.
Okay.
And if it's dead and they call me, I'm like, it's fine, close down, go home. Today. Sorry, I don't do this very often. She takes care of it all.
If it's something we can do in the morning, we can.
Yeah, because I don't know exactly. Let me see if it's into this for me. Yeah, I don't. I'll have to get the list because I can't get into it.
Yeah, waitress and cooks, right?
Yeah, there was probably 4 people there all day, honestly. I just didn't run an noise again because it's been slow.
Yeah, we can easily get that later today at some
You
point.
can pull it up like that. I just don't know how to use the damn thing.
Right.
I just take it, but
That's not a problem.
The following day, the detective calls Mike into the station once more, this time with the goal of getting Mike to confess to having set the fire to the diner.
Okay, so draw it as if you're like probably facing it from the sweet spot.
Okay.
That way everyone can kind of understand. So back here would be the back door.
this will be the side entrance you're saying?
Yeah, that side, yeah. Because the front of the building's only this big.
Right, and then...
Yeah, then it goes long. Yeah. So it'd be from this side.
Okay.
And it might have to be the same.
Well, I'm no artist, so... we got, you know, with the dining, so we start at the front, and then it jogs out. It was pretty square to the back. This is the front. And that little side door jogged out for the back kitchen. I think I kind of like their side stairs are here. And I believe, because that was, yeah, it's pretty, it took a little bit, but, so that's that. There was a door here. There was an ice
Just right on my door.
Okay.
There's an ice.
Actually, I kind of messed that up. It's kind of like this, and then go that way. That's why class wasn't my strong point.
No, I completely understand. That's why I put it in pencil.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so then this was a door. This was a door that we never used anymore. And then this was the door here. And then that was a kitchen door. And this was, of course, the entry door. You don't want tables. You just want basic.
Basic. So
Like where kind of like the freezers were, stuff like you want.
yes,
Like
just so you can put like main dining.
Okay.
Because this is main dining, right?
Right. Yeah.
Where was that new place?
Actually, it's kind of off like this, doesn't it, Randy? It kind of goes off. We'll just call this whole big thing over here the secondary dining.
Yep.
And this is where that door was that goes out to the back, very back.
Okay.
And then
that propane tank was
the
like.
propane tank was right there on that corner.
Right. Okay.
And then that storage closet came.
Where was the ice?
Ice chest is right here by the door.
Okay.
Everything's there. Door inside. And then that ice chest sat right there.
Yep.
Okay, and then from that door, this was the storage area here, which this was kind of, it didn't go far.
Okay, and then just right
Storage here,
Yep.
and because then there was a freezer room here.
Yeah, this is exactly what we're looking for.
Okay. Storage. So actually, I gotta do this here. It was awful.
Yeah. Easy function.
Stairway to the parking lot.
Yep.
You guys didn't work over there today, did you?
No.
No.
No. We've just been reviewing video and all kinds of stuff today.
Okay, so there's a wall there for the kitchen. Oops. This was the back kitchen. And then the front kitchen was basically right here. And then you had storage here.
So put front kitchen.
Yep. Storage. And then you had the men's room and the women's room back to back. Women's. Oops. And this was a door also that went into the dining area from that storage area. It was weird. It was never used because there was a table there.
Okay. Was anything in here?
There was like dishwashing chemicals.
Okay.
That's where we kept that, like our extra dishwashing soap, our aprons, or towels.
Okay, so it's like it's kind of
Linen closet, yeah.
But you had to access this door to get to this storage.
Nope, you could get, this was like a hallway right here. It came right to that back kitchen, and it was open.
Oh.
It was open here.
Oh, from the kitchen.
Yeah, the back kitchen. It was just open. So it's kind of that whole thing was the storage area. Because the food was here also, like the shelf. We had the steel shelves with food.
It makes sense.
Our can store.
Which is right off your kitchen.
Yep. So then men's, women's. Right here was an island, and it had the POS system. It had coffee pot, and it had pop machine and pop/ice. Ice holder there on that island.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had right there was one here and one here. They were coolers, like a stand-up Pepsi coolers. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, you told me about those.
Then you also had your ice machine, ice maker. There. That was basically like the countertop. The whole itself was burnt. You had, like in that, you had juice machine, juice machine, cappuccino machine. What else? There was three of them. Coffee pot, and then cash register. So the cash register was here. And then you had coffee, juice, and like hot chocolate. What do you call it? Like a dispenser was like a hot chocolate.
Okay.
Dispenser.
Just a hot chocolate. I don't understand. Or cocoa dispenser.
Dispenser. The cash drawer was there, which was the POS system, and then your counter.
So your waitresses could potentially put in stuff here.
Yeah, we had two. That way they could only cash out here, but they could credit card here and put orders in. That way that they weren't all bottled up. I just put that in. I just finished. I made the last payment Monday.
Yeah, you said it was
$5,000.
$5,000.
And that was half off because I used through my food vendor. It's a new counter. Right there's the cash box.
This is a little wrong, right? Because isn't this break in the counter right near the cash register?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
The only reason I say this, I remember going in there, and that's...
I'm ground too big. Because then there's also right here was the bakery case.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I'm sorry. I drawn that.
No, she put counter there, yeah.
Counter. Over here was just sheeting. Do you want baseboards and stuff?
You can do, for baseboards, we can just
highlight it maybe or something?
Yeah, just,
Yeah, I could just highlight where the baseboards were in the restaurant.
use my pen and put in baseboards.
There was one here. Oh.
My pen will write in it, just go and scribble on that.
There's a baseboard by the front door.
Yep.
And there was one right here under the tables. Then I went through there, and then there was tables here, and there was one. There was one here. And there was a long one here. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. That was them. And the thermostats were right here on that wall. There was one back to back.
Yep. So then take this, just put, actually, just make one of those up here.
And just do baseboard right in.
Baseboard.
Okay.
Yep.
You could hire me to be an artist.
Yeah. Hey, you're doing fine, man.
So then that's your back door, because then that was that wall. There was that.
Anything right in this general area?
This area, the heater was on the roof, right above that freezer.
Okay, that's over there though, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And here was open dining basically,
Just
front dining or dining.
yep.
Because then we had we called this the front.
Mm-hmm.
So front dining was over here.
That's your entryway. And that was, yeah, that's all your dining.
Yep, and then right here hanging up was a TV. There was that partition wall thing, the TV was up there. Because also there was a bathroom, or not the bathroom.
Any building on the city store refrigerator.
Right here was a storage closet also. This was the kitchen door. That's that back door that we always try to keep closed. TV was hanging here. TV cable box. There was a tiny heater on this wall right here. Like a wall mount. It wasn't wall mounted, but it was in the wall, but then it had the grate that blew the wire out. There was a heater.
Yep.
I don't know what we call it, wall heater?
Yeah, wall heater. And that was electric, right?
Yeah, there was no gas in the building.
Other than
Just the propane.
that little
fireplace. What do you want to call that one? Gas heater?
Yeah, gas heater.
Okay.
And that was only, Julian explained to me all about
We
that.
never used it unless there was a group coming in or, we turned on that morning. And there was a valve inside that was always off.
Right.
Because
The propane tank itself, you remember if the valve was on or off?
you could ask John Crandall.
Okay.
He went to it.
Yep.
Because I told him as soon as I got there, I said, John, there's a propane tank on the back of that building. I said, the valve's off to the building. I don't know if the tank
Okay.
itself. I probably was not, Randy, because I checked that heater a month ago to make sure it worked.
Right. So
And
that's probably,
it was on.
Okay. It didn't go anyway, so.
Well, it scared. I was
Yeah.
And then I had the Ansel system in the kitchen, and I don't even know if that worked. I mean, I have no clue. We'll never know, I guess. Oh, there's nothing. That was the entry. These are all tables. I mean, I think that's.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
pretty good.
I think pretty good. Here, I'm sorry. Well, this was the door to the storage to get in there, because you go in and the storage was kind of behind the. Hopefully it helps. This wall was probably a little bit more here. I don't know if we change it.
I mean, it's up, so. I put not to scale.
Okay.
That's why I asked him for my captain for some, graph paper, sometimes it's easier because you can stay in squares. The problem is this is such a big building that it would look like your fingerprint was only like this big.
You're right.
That would have been kind of screwy anyway, so. Okay. Cool, man. That will help. So we only have a couple more questions for you, and then we'll see where we go. Well, we spoke with a lot of people in the past several days. And I know that you are concerned with what people are saying in the community, and
I just try to ignore it.
try to ignore it. Yeah, exactly, and that's all you can do, because people are always gonna do that. Now that we know the amounts, obviously, when we go into these fires, we have to assess exactly what happened, and sometimes it's hard because of the amount of damage. But then you start to learn to build a case on circumstantial evidence, and then it keeps kind of flooding in. And this is normally when we talk to the people and we start to ask them a little more direct questions.
Okay.
We have a few issues. So you say that you went to the bar at 9:20-ish.
The bar.
No, sir. The diner. Or
It was whenever the halftime was the game. I don't know exactly. 9:20, 9:30, right?
Well, we know for a fact you got there at 10 o'clock.
Got it? No, I was.
Well, we have video of you arriving at 10 o'clock. And we have you leaving there 14 minutes later at 10:14. It's confirmed.
Okay. What?
It's, the Mayville Fire Department has cameras that face
Right?
right at your
It's on the red light. I would think. I believe it wasn't there.
There's one with the red light.
Mm-hmm.
We have you coming off of Valley Street and taking a right, heading down, you pull right into your parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Is that the route you took?
I did.
All right. So you pull into the parking lot. You say you park near the back entrance or the side entrance?
Side door.
Side door. And from there, you do your stuff inside. At 10:14, we have an independent witness driving by that notices your truck there as well at 10:14. We have a deposition from that particular person to remain nameless at this point, but nonetheless, they did come forward and say, I know for a fact he was there at 10:14 because they came up over the hill. They saw your truck there. At 10:14, with some seconds, and mind you, everything is within seconds of each other.
Okay.
You actually pull out, and where do you go?
Over the hill.
Yep. And I wanted you to hear you say that because I knew you went over the hill, because the camera depicts that. Where did you go from there?
To the bottom, down Valley Street. Or I'm sorry, that's not Valley, that's Patterson.
Patterson.
Right, because we have a job site down there.
Okay.
And I just went by to see if the loader was there because I know we've got the plug, so.
Okay. So you went down
What's it, Patterson?
Patterson?
Left on Patterson to Valley, made a right, back home.
Okay. So your yard's all right back home.
Absolutely, our yard's right there.
All right. And so we have video of that. So just so you're not getting, just remember the timestamps of 10:14 p.m. is when you left, 10 o'clock is when you arrived. You were there 14 minutes.
Okay, well, I got that part right.
All right. So at approximately 10:18, this is just 4 minutes after you leave, there's some smoke in the air. 4 minutes from the time you left.
Okay.
Now, everybody has a different theory of fire, but I know you're a fireman, and I know you know about fire. You have to go through fire essentials, you have to know some degree of how fire burns and that type of thing. Do you agree with me that is suspicious, that you're leaving 4 minutes later, there's smoke in the air?
I hate to incriminate myself, but yeah.
And then with that in mind, think of what your knowledge is in your own right for being a fireman. You have told me on several different occasions, and everyone else, while you were in the building, you didn't smell, hear, see anything out of the ordinary than a normal day. You did your normal stuff. You said you went in, you make sure you leave a couple lights on for the ladies the next morning. You leave money behind for the following day to start up money. You grab your money for that day, and you make sure all burners, vents, doors are locked, the normals. All, I'm sure everybody that owns a diner does the same type of thing. But when you leave, within 4 minutes, there's noticeable smoke. Within 6 minutes of you leaving, it's very noticeable smoke. Within 13 minutes of you leaving, the sheriff's department is there, and it's coming out the eaves. Fire just does not go that fast. Something happened when you were in that place. They had to have. Mike, I don't know what to tell you. We've got statements even from, was there a bad fan?
Bad fan?
Was there a bad vent fan in the kitchen?
I fixed it. That was taken care of.
Okay, so that was taken care of.
Correct.
Because we have one employee stating that you said that you ought to just leave that fan on, and then we wouldn't have to worry about this place.
Yeah, no, it was fixed. Tim fixed that.
Okay. All right.
And that was the one by the sink on the front wall.
All right, so that was fixed. When we're digging, we find your cash drawer. It's not really a register; it's your register cash drawer.
Yeah, it's underneath.
We find that it's pristine. To that area of your building, that was all non-charred, burned area. Okay, that's right where your safe was. That safe was not in that building.
I would love to go with you. I'll handpick. I swear to God, I did not take any of that safe. I wouldn't know.
Because if you took the safe out, you can just tell me.
No, I swear to God, I did not. Nope, did not take it. Yeah,
because that's not there. Your POS system. Where did that sit?
Well, that was on top of the cash drawer.
Exactly.
Around the register drawer.
Exactly.
Right.
That's not there.
The POS?
Yeah, POS.
It's a screen like that.
Right. It's not there.
It was those tools.
It's not melted. That was. Did you remove that?
Absolutely not. No.
Well, it doesn't make any sense to us. We have your cash drawer in evidence here at the sheriff's office. There's no melted plastic on top of that.
I did not take it.
You have to help me make sense of some of this, because otherwise this is what's happening. Remember what I said about fire. Either people tell us the truth, what happened, or the facts around the case just don't make any sense. And the puzzle, if you're trying to make a puzzle, and pieces of the puzzle don't fit, that's where we're at right here. We're trying to make a puzzle to make it fit that really helps you and everyone, the community, everyone try to heal with this, right? Because there's a lot of people that are upset about this. The thing is none of it is making sense.
What would taking a screen like that do? I don't understand.
Well, in your own right, you told me that your POS system is worth around $5,000. We've talked with another business that has the same type of system. They paid $8,000. So
right, I paid full price.
You got a pretty good deal.
Right, because of my food distributor.
Yeah.
But there was 2 screens, there was the cash drawer, and a battery backup. So, I mean, unless it's a full package, plus there was a kitchen printer, and a printer.
We found a kitchen
Two
printer.
printers, there's two printers, a kitchen printer, three printers.
Yep.
So that's no good.
The printers were right next to the cash drawer.
Right.
Right next to, there was no screen.
I swear, that blows my mind. I did not touch the screen. The last thing I did was I touched in the code and I left. And was the drawer open?
The drawer was not open.
Okay.
We also have video of your business way before you got there, and the 13 minutes that it took for patrol to get there, and the fire department now is starting to arrive. So within 13 minutes of you leaving, that place is in fully involved fire.
But I would have had to have been in a burning building or something for that. If it, I mean, I wouldn't have.
It's either that or you did something on the way out, you turned something on that shouldn't have been on, something.
I had nothing that shouldn't have been on. I mean, there was no.
And that's the part that's not making sense to us. I mean, it's not making any sense. There's obviously, you know, I feel bad for you. You got, in September, you get divorced. You fire somebody that probably rightfully needed to be fired. You try to do the right
They
thing.
were fake stealing from me.
Right. You try to do the right thing, and you take the hit from a small village. You tell me your business is going down the tubes. Where you used to bring in $1,200 to $1,500 to $1,600 a week, you're down to $600 to $800. That's half. Plus, I'm sure that you've set your life up to live halfway decent. You got a good job. You run the diner. You have nice vehicles. I'm sure that life was decent, and then all of a sudden, all this shit starts coming down. You're backing your sales tax for several grand. You're Mapleville. Do you know anything about what's going on with your electric? I told you I was going to do a financial.
$700.
$700.
Yeah.
That's what you owe
The village.
the village.
Which is due this month.
The village sent you a letter. Do you remember that letter?
It was like an agreement.
An agreement, and then what were they going to do with the money?
They said to pay it on Monday.
They were shutting you off Monday. We have a deposition from the village clerk, the treasurer, that they were shutting you off come Monday morning. So your business was going to be no more. Tuesday morning, sorry, Tuesday. Monday night's the fire. Tuesday morning, you're shut off. You wouldn't have been able to open. Because unfortunately, one of your own cousins was going to have to probably be the one shut off. John. Well, I wasn't real happy about. But the point is, that's another fact here. Here's a guy that I know you're trying to do right. You're working hard, you have a good job, you're trying to run this thing, and then all of a sudden, you fire a few people that needed to be fired and you're right, and the business starts tanking, you owe a bunch of money. I'm sure you set your life up to have your good job plus this diner, and I'm sure things were good at certain times, and then all of a sudden everything starts tanking. Dude, I can only imagine.
Yeah, but I would never burn my business. That's insane. That doesn't do you any good.
Why doesn't it do you any good? Let's talk about the insurance then. So not only were you going to be able to be open, and I'm just painting a picture of what we have, okay? So Monday you weren't going to be able to be open anyways, or Tuesday. I keep saying Monday. Monday was the fire. Tuesday you were not going to be able to be open. They were going to be shutting your electric off that day.
They called me Monday. I was going to give
The deposition that I have from Jennifer from the village is that it's $2,000 and some dollars is what you owe for your electric. on back sewer, back electric. Okay? So now on top of that, you're not going to be able, you know this is all coming, because you've received a letter from them that was sent to you. You know all of this. You go to get the money that night, there's only $600. That's what you told me anyways. And if you left $100 there, which should have been only $500. So you would have been bringing out $500. Well, $500 isn't going to cut a quarter of your bill that you owe the village to keep you afloat. That's just turning the lights on at the place. Let alone all the other expenses that are going, because the business was not doing well. That's why the Bonars from Florida were calling the insurance company every other day, seeing if you've paid the premium, because they were afraid of this, and that they would not get compensated for their amount, because they're afraid. It's, when you lease something to somebody, I mean, you have an asset. It's a building. It's got equipment in it. It was an established business, and then when you lease it to somebody, yeah, they're buying it, but they're still holding out. So they still have a true asset. That's why we were blowing up the insurance people's phones trying to figure that out. That was all out of your own mouth, but we've confirmed all that. Absolutely. We'll talk about all that, so let's talk about the insurance. So there's 310, was it, you said? 310,000 it's insured for, the building? When I asked you the other day how much you were insured for, you didn't know that price. However, you did know exactly that they were entitled, the Bonars were entitled to $180,000. That's what
What left of the mortgage, right? And they were called a loss payee.
So at this point right now, you owe $180 on the mortgage itself from there.
Plus or minus?
Plus or minus. Yeah, we're not splitting hairs here. If you're within $5,000 of that, that's when we're dealing with $180,000, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, one way or the other is close. Then there's $30,000 in contents, and then there's 1 year of lost wages to be determined through probably an insurance hearing on how much you would be compensated per week, and then you would get 52 times that amount, because there's 52 weeks in a year. And it's how you agree upon, you and the insurance would battle that out. So if you were to take the 310 minus the 180, right? That's 130,000 plus the 30,000 contents. And this is just rough math. And even if they were to pay you $1,200 a week, $1,400 a week is what you would probably settle off on. Even it couldn't even be more than that. Times 52. I mean, we can make up a whole different figure here, but let's just say conservatively, if they even gave you $1,200 times 52. It's another 62,400. It's better than a $220,000 payday. Now, to answer your question, why would I ever burn my business? That right there, my friend, is called motivation. Especially when you can paint a picture of someone who is struggling. People have bad weaknesses, man. I don't know what to tell you. You know fire. You know fire than most people, because I know I did a little background on you. You were a very, very active fireman. at 1
I'm not
p.m.
an inside guy, I'm just the outside. I can drive the trucks, and I don't do interior. I've never
That
been
being
to
said,
the house, I've never been to any of that.
you know that fire cannot consume a large building like that in 13 minutes. And I can conservatively say 4 minutes. There was visual smoke in 4 minutes, let alone the next 9 minutes that goes on before it's reported. We have you living in the lot. We know that's you. You can see the truck. You take it right. It goes up over the hill. That's at 10:14. At 10:27, the sheriff's cars arrive, and they have pictures. Now they're starting to take pictures. So now we have pictures of a building that is puffing smoke out of the eaves that you just left there. Nick, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to. Unless you tell me the truth, then tell me what happened.
I did not start a fire in my building. No, sir. You did not.
See, we think you did,
I can see that.
but we're not the only ones.
I know, the whole town hates me. They've hated me for a
That's not,
while.
I don't hate you.
No,
I'm trying to do my job and do it right.
Absolutely.
And honestly, you need to explain more. Well, how do you think it happened? What do you think happened in your own business?
I don't. The only thing I can think is it's something electrical. It's something
Okay,
that
if it was electrical, let's go with that route. If it's electrical, and I don't care what electrical freezer, whatever, and just so you know, we inspected all of your freezers, and we ruled those out as cost, just an FYI. But let's just to say, it's electrical. When you walk in that place that night, it's just you. It's just you in that building. You would smell electrical. Because electrical fires don't just go, the minute you lock that door and you start your truck, they go poof. And it's a blaze. No, that doesn't happen. Scientifically, it can't happen. It just can't. Things don't happen like that. So that's why the picture we're painting, I've told you basically everything. We look at things, we let the facts speak for themselves. The other day when I spoke to you, I was not hard on you. Am I going to be hard on you right now? Yes, because I need to know the truth. Because now I know a lot more than I did the other day. This is like a card game too. I am never going to tell you everything I've got, because I don't want you to know all the evidence I got. But I can tell you this, I believe we have enough evidence to have you arrested. This is your one time that you can talk to me and at least try to make some sense on why it happened. This is it. Because from here, what we do, we're still gathering evidence to this moment. And it's probably going to come to a point where the next time we meet, you will be arrested. I can't say that with every fire. And I've done a lot of these. But this one right here, Mike, I can. And it's because of the time. It's the time thing. It's the time thing. There's no way this fire did not have human involvement. There's no way this fire could have started and done what it did in the amount of time that we have documented on camera footage.
I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to you.
No, you're here to tell me the truth, that's all. You're going to walk out that door today if you tell me the truth.
I am telling you. Randy, I did not start a fire in that building. I did not.
Then who the hell did? You had just left the door, Mike.
I
just left.
I locked the door and walked out.
But in your own term, you agree, how would a fire occur at 4 minutes?
But the way you're saying the timing, I would have had to have been in a burning building if it was more so smoke. Like you're saying,
Oh, no. Not if you started a fire in that building when you left, you're walking out, man. You're done. You're in the truck and you're driving up over the hill. Now this thing is burning. And now it's starting to catch. If it's just a little electrical spark that catches something right on fire or something, then basically it would take time. Fire has to grab what it's burning next to gain more heat, to then grab something else, the cushion next to it, or the roof next to it, or the wall next to it, and then it keeps burning little by little by little, and it keeps getting hotter and hotter, and the hotter that the room gets, the more that things start to catch quicker. It's like starting a bonfire. If it's freezing outside and it's wet and cold, it's going to take a lot to start it. If it's hot, sunny, and dry, it's not going to take as much. It's the same type of theory here. A fire was started in that building. We have you leaving the parking lot 4 minutes after there's visible signs of smoke coming from that building. Now remember, after you pull out of the parking lot, there's people driving by, here and up and down and all around.
yeah,
And people are coming to us. So it's like, normally we're taking these fires out in the middle of BF Egypt, and we don't know nothing. We don't know what occurred, because there's no camera footage, there's no nothing. Well, you just happened to own a business that was right across from a really nice camera system that points both directions. We see you pull into the parking lot. We know you're there for 14 minutes. 14 minutes, you're pulling out. You're heading up the hill. You see you go over the hill. And then 4 minutes later, from a different camera system that happens to be at this sheriff's office, that points our whole parking lot, this side lot, and it goes right towards 430 and 394, you can see the Mayville Diner in the background because your left light's on. So you can see all of the side windows. You can start to see smoke in approximately that 10:18 to 10:21. 10:21, you're definitely seeing smoke. One could maybe argue that at 18, it could be fuzz in the lens, or it could be like the haze in the lens because it was bad that night. But even then, a few minutes later, there's no doubt, there's visual smoke. So it's smoking so bad, in fact, that when a sheriff's deputy pulls into the lot, we'll have them on the film going, wow, something's burning. All sheriff's cars, and then it happens to be a lieutenant from the sheriff's department, walks out that side door that I just let you in. He walks outside and says, something's on fire around here. They investigate. They call it in. They call your diner fire, not a passerby, not a neighboring business, not anybody. The sheriff's department does, because they just happen to be in the side lot of the office and they smell smoke from way over there. So for that smoke not to dissipate into nothing before it goes 280 yards, they smell it. Because it's encompassing the whole area of Mayville already. And there's only so many minutes since you've left. I'll tell you right now, Mike, that's not good. Coupled with the fact, your electric was going to be shut off that day. The following morning.
All I had to do was leave a check for him. I told him that on the phone. I told him,
Where were you going to get that money?
from my checking account.
If you have that much money in your checking account, why aren't you paying your bills then?
Because I had to pay the $720. So I was going to pay the $720.
But you owe $2,000 some, but $720 would keep the lights on? Is that what you're telling me?
That was like the late payment.
The night that I spoke to you here, I asked you, tell me if you were late anywhere else. And you didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me anything about your electric.
With everything going on, I didn't think about the electric. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't omit it on purpose.
Have you ever been in trouble before?
No, sir. I have not even.
You seem like a good guy. I know you're going through a rough time. But,
Yeah, but to compound it with doing something like that, that's insane.
well, but there's motivation there. There is. There's a lot of motivation. We're talking $222,400 on a conservative side of motivation. Especially when you're down to all these people and you're a proud guy, you probably had owed money before, and now all of a sudden you owe a bunch of people money.
Yeah, but that's not the way. I worked too hard.
What's the way then?
I was just gonna keep pushing. That's what I was doing. I was putting money into it. I mean, if I was gonna quit, I would have quit a long time ago.
But this isn't quitting. This is like eliminating. It's eliminating. It's not quitting, it's eliminating.
No, it's just starting more trouble.
Sure it is. Because I hope you didn't think for a minute that this stuff doesn't get looked into, or there's a bunch of people looking at these fires all over the county, and they don't know what they're doing.
My cousin, John's an investigator. I mean, I wouldn't do something like.
He feels horrible over all this. He doesn't want anything to do with it, which I don't disagree with him. We've already conferred with the district attorney's office. They want me to talk to you one more time and see if you tell the truth. It'd make things a whole hell of a lot easier. But I'd run everything by the DA's office. Your financial background, which we're going to be digging into even more. Your phone is going to have to come with me. Because what we'll do here, we can search warrant that. We can do lots of stuff off of this. I just will get your cooperation and tell me the truth.
If I had truth to tell you, I would. I did not.
And there's no way that thing was on fire when you left there 4 minutes before.
I would have called it in if something was on fire. That's insane.
It's not when you're looking at your motive.
I understand you want to know that, but that's not me. That's garbage. I'm not a piece of shit like that.
See, that's one of the hurdles here, is that you think that a person who would burn something down because they're desperate is a piece of shit. And I say people do it probably more often than what you think, and it's because they're desperate. Because you set your life up to a certain standard. You were married, you had 3 kids, things were going good, okay? And then that fell apart. Why? Doesn't matter. Point is divorce is devastating. It's devastating stuff, definitely to the male. All of a sudden, you gotta pay probably 27% of your gross off of your normal job, let alone whatever the diner was making, blah, 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 because I'm sure that all had to come into a formula. Doesn't matter what the terms are of that formula, doesn't matter to me. Point is, I know it's devastating. I've had friends that have gone through it. I've had many friends that have gone through it. They're devastated. So with that in mind, just that alone is devastating to someone's financial savviness. I don't care if you got a great supervisory job. Dude, when someone's pulling 27% from your gross before taxes, I got news for you. That's a lot of money. So now you got that. Well, I hear you have a Hellcat. Okay? Ain't a cheap car. You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I look like.
Different. Well, I'm only showing the facts, right? So the facts are, you own a Hellcat, you're living life, as you should be. When you own a diner and you own a business, or have a good job and own a business, I'm sure you could have been living on high on the hog. Well, then all of a sudden that starts all dropping off, and you set your life up to be here, and your money is down here now.
But I didn't take money from that. I didn't take a salary. I never paid myself. Never. From the diner.
Well, there's definitely financial issues with you and your current state of mind. There is for life. There is. It's documented. I've just told you a few of the documentations. We're going to have to get, more records to some different financial institutions, and then we'll go from there even more. But that's where we're at. But you'll get this back, but you'll have to give me till probably Friday, because tomorrow we're going to have a search warrant done on this.
So I can't take my phone with me tonight?
No, we're going to keep it.
Okay.
That's how that works, man. This is a little computer right here.
Absolutely.
So we'll be able to see all the context of text messages and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, if anything matches up to where we're at and our thoughts, then I don't know what to tell you. I wish things weren't. You seem like a good guy.
I need to get an attorney just to,
I'd like you to tell me the truth. That's what I'd like. How about when you take a lie detector test? Would you take one then?
when my kids are, I'm supposed to have my kids right now. It's probably my phone going off. I'm supposed to pick them up at 4. I don't know what time it is.
Would you do one right now?
Is it 4 o'clock?
It's 4:20.
I was supposed to pick them up 20 minutes ago.
Is it Lifey?
Yeah. Well, that's my girlfriend.
I'll let you use that, or who are you wanting to call out of those?
Well, let's see. I don't even know who they are. That's my kid from work. Hopefully she's picked them up. I would just call her and see if she can pick them up. But
Just send her a text message quick and say, could you pick up the kids real quick? I'm talking with...
You've got me so over temper and my heart's racing because you're telling me all this.
Right.
Well, that's going to show
That's why I said anything non-factual.
that I started fire. She's got it, but I'm just telling you, there's no way I'll pass my event. It was,
Why didn't you shoot the last one?
she's in my heart right now.
listen, that,
And I don't have to work, I've never done anything.
right, well, we have a guy that works 3 to 11. He could probably come right here, right now. I'm sure he would do it. It's a non-confrontational interview. It's, if you think that I was confrontational, even right now, I've just been telling you facts. I've just been telling you facts, man.
I mean, I've never been in trouble, I've never dealt with you guys, I've never had a movie violation, so I don't know if I should say yes or no, just because it scares the heck out of me, that makes or breaks. I'm basically...
It doesn't. Okay, so let me explain what a CESA is called, Computer Stress Voice Analysis Test. So a lot of people are afraid of it because they think that, oh my goodness, there's no way I'll ever pass it, there's no way of this, no way of that. Regardless if you pass it or if you fail it, you are a free man to go. You are not in custody right now, you're not in handcuffs. If you told me I just soon go home right now, then you're just going to go home. Okay? That's how I roll. However, I never told you one iota of a non-truth today of what I know. I have spoken to the DA, and I have gone over the whole scenario. That is very troublesome for him even, with the fact that 4 minutes, arguably 4 to 6 minutes after you leave, there's notable smoke coming from that.
What Randy, I'm saying 4 to 6 minutes, what would have happened when I was there to get it going like that? I would have been doing that while I was there, right?
But you had to have done it just before you left.
You would have known smoke when I was there. If it was that bad 6 minutes later,
If I started with a fire in this room right now, I'm going to be able to walk out that door and jump in my truck and drive away. Do you know what I'm saying by saying that? I could start a fire in here and still start it, walk out, get in my truck, and drive away. Come on, we're adults here. I know you know that could be done.
This looks terrible.
Now you know what I'm faced with. And I'm not trying to be a jerk to you.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm trying to get truth. I'm a truth finder. And sometimes truth is bad. I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes it's bad. But there's also a point in just lies cover up lies to lies, and you're going to bury yourself in lies, and you end up going to get the ultimately arrested, and your voice is just going to be a big lie all the way up to it. I would just assume you tell me the truth, and then maybe you can make sense of it.
I'm telling you the truth.
But maybe I can honestly say you're not. You're not. You're not telling me the truth. That's the problem. I've done this job for a long time. You're not telling me the truth. I've had people, I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people, man. You did something in your business for that to start on fire. You drove away out of there, and you knew that was going to burn. You knew it. You did it because you're financially unstable, you owe a bunch of money, and lo and behold, you needed $700 and some to your account to keep your electric on, and you weren't even going to be able to do that. What's your phone going to show? Because there's so much I can do on this. I can do your GPS locations, I can do everything.
I know. It's not gonna show, it's gonna show me what
Any text messages between you and any of your prior employees, your current girlfriend,
anybody I've ever texted.
you know, all kinds of stuff like that.
I'm confident there's nothing on there. It's gonna show anything about me doing anything like that.
Would you do a permission to search that for tomorrow? And then you can have it back tomorrow afternoon.
To search them? As in just go through it?
To have it downloaded. Would you?
Do you have to have a warrant to do that though?
No, if you give me permission.
Well, then fine, because I have nothing to hide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll do that paperwork. And then I will just keep the phone today.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning, I'll have it downloaded. So tomorrow at hopefully around 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll be able to give it back to you. That would expedite getting this back to you.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because that's my work phone too, so.
yeah, dude, I get what that's on. Yeah, and I don't want to put you out of work. That's not,
I'll
not a good intention.
I'll go to work. Just like I do.
Until then, you might have to just borrow,
Can I at least call Kevin and see what he wanted from work?
yes.
Okay. And I'll just sit right here and do it.
Go ahead.
You want a speaker?
So,
You can call him.
hey, go. How late do you work? Oh. Sorry. Oh, Carl, Jesus, I'm sorry about that. Okay, and what time's he work tomorrow, if you know? Perfect. All right, I'll see you at 8 o'clock then. All right, thanks. Bye. I was gonna try and do it right now for you, but I can't. So fortunately, we've got do two things.
Are we doing everything?
Yeah. So
4255.
when we get the permission to search paperwork, we'll fill it out real quick. And then we just gotta put it on airplane mode. So,
Do well.
okay. So I'll be right back. What's going on?
Not all the details. I know because obviously.
Yeah, let me get him where he's sitting over here and shut the doors.
We can. We'll bring him in here and then I can just.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, Mike. You can grab your hat here. Is it really? Oh, man.
You can just
have a seat right there for a moment, and he and I gotta discuss some of it, and then, we'll be right back.
Be right back in, okay?
Okay.
Oh man, you're having a long day. Holy cow, do anything before we, we've been like ready to long time?
I understand, yeah. Well, this won't take all that long. We'll get through it. And where are you from?
Maybe.
You always live right here? Okay. Or at least you're close to home. Yeah, it was coming up here tonight. Man, it got.
He said you're coming from Casadega.
Yeah, it got nasty.
Shitty over there.
For sure. How long have you owned the diner?
2 years, 2 months.
Is that right? it's sad, isn't it? I'm sorry for what you're going through.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's been a kind of a staple of the community for a long time. It's sad, it's different. Yeah. Sad to see what happened to it. And, I can remember my parents talking about that back when they were dating, back in the 70s. I think they met there, but that's a tough thing. It's probably a tough thing to own too. A tough thing to be. I mean,
It's every day, constantly.
it's you just like married to it. Yeah, you really are.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's hard. Okay, so obviously Randy, kind of filled me in a little bit on they're just trying to figure all this out. And I'm not really a part of the investigation. I just, I do these tests and like to, help them out and do what I can do for you. It sounds like you're going through a rough time, too.
Feel like I can't win.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah. What is there more to it? Like what else is going on? It sounds like you got a full plate.
But worse than that's a big one.
That's tough.
17 years. 3 kids.
It's a pretty recent.
Finalized in September.
Yeah, and then this. Okay, well that's tough.
Never been in trouble before, so.
Well, you're doing better than me. I was gonna add.
I've never smoked. Never tried a drug.
That's good. You work outside. You just did.
Maybe Northrop. I'm a construction superintendent.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you sleep at all? Or? Holy cow. That's crazy.
It's a lot.
How long you been there?
4 years.
Wow. Yeah. Where are they based at? I see the trucks now and then.
Living in Fosterville.
Okay. So you probably do a lot of work up in like Cat County area. I know that.
Yeah, we're doing a lot right here in Stoughton County.
Okay.
All the water line that was done here. Was it?
So you like commercial construction?
Main line installation.
I see.
Site work, pipe work.
I see.
Whatever, anything,
Yeah. Is that what you've always done?
21 years, 22 years.
Okay. What led you to get into the dining?
A fluke.
Just.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard so many stories about.
The worst part of it is people, just employees, they add to everybody's lives.
Yeah.
Not just yours.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's just you that you're worrying about. It's not
control.
tough. But it's pretty hard to control what other people are doing. Yeah, I understand that. Oh, man. Well, it seems like you got a lot on your plate.
A little bit.
Hopefully we can get through this and put it behind
How does it
us.
even work?
So I'll explain, I guess, all the science behind it, and I want you to know, too, with these, there's no surprises. You're going to know every single question that I'm going to ask you before we even do the test. We're going to formulate the questions together. So that, it's, there's no tricks or surprises or anything like that. It's not like a polygraph where we put all the bands and wires, and that's not what it's about.
Yeah, because I
think some agencies still use them, but they're just so impractical, and these actually are more accurate. And so not much to it. All I'll tell you, Mike. Can I make Mike? Is that the okay? We use these to try to just rule people out. Now that helps us move on with our investigation, and if we can rule somebody out of suspicion or whatnot. And I don't know all the details on kind of where we're at with that. It sounds like I said, you're going through a rough time. You've got a lot on your plate, and I'm well aware that decent people like you said you've never been in trouble. You've worked all your life.
I already had a move that I was.
I tell you, you're doing pretty well. But we do see it from time to time when things get really bad for somebody, and you've got so much stress in your life that can affect your judgment. In a split second, you might do something that you regret, something that you know you shouldn't have done, and that happens. So I don't want you to think that I'm here to judge you or give you a hard time or beat you up about something, figuratively, obviously.
Yeah.
That's not the reason for this. We're just trying to get to the bottom of it. That's all. So if there is anything more to it than what you and Randy have talked about, please just explain. Tell me what's going on, and rather than have you take this and fail it just because you were nervous or whatever about saying anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously there's some suspicion that you might have set this fire. I guess that's right. That's what kind of the point of why they're here. Is that the case? Is that what happened? Like I said, that's stranger things have happened. It sounds like you're under a tremendous load of pressure from every angle, and people mess up and make mistakes, and we get that. So I just figured I'd get right to the point and ask you before we got to any of this. That's not what happened. Okay. You didn't have this arranged to have arranged to have it burned or anything like that. Okay. Do you have an opinion on what might have happened? What are your thoughts?
I know we pop breakers all the time.
Okay.
That electrical, it's pieced together. I don't know. I've had electricians there. They've replaced breakers. They've fixed plugs. It's got 6 additions or 5 additions that who knows who did what work in there.
Okay.
So, I mean, it is what it was when I got it.
Sure. Okay. All right. Sounds like you've just been there, right? I'm sure.
I collected the money for the day.
I'm sure you and Randy kind of talked about the time frame of how quickly after you left. Didn't notice anything when you were there. Didn't notice anything smoking or anything that would indicate that you thought there might be a fire. Okay. All right. I always like to just get that out of the way first before, you know what I mean? Just to give you a chance if there is more to it. We don't know each other, and I don't prejudge people, but I can kind of tell that you're a decent guy, hardworking guy, and I know that you're not the typical
guy
that I might, so that being said, decent people mess up. We all have, I have, But let me explain how this works, and we'll try to get to it, okay? Just got to plug a couple things in here. Full first name is Michael, right?
Correct.
Okay. So like I told you before, there's no surprises, there's no gotcha moments or anything like that. There's 9 questions in total. We're going to go over every single question together before we even start doing this.
Okay.
You're going to know what I'm going to ask you, okay? 5 of the 9 questions are what we call irrelevant questions. There's no stress involved. You're just going to give me a truthful answer. Like, for instance, I'll probably ask you, is your name Mike? You'll say yes. All these questions, all I need from you is a yes or no answer. No explanation needed, just yes or no. Okay? So, there are 2 questions on here then I'm going to ask you to deliberately lie to me. Okay?
Okay.
But they're just questions that have no consequence. Like I'll ask you, are the lights on in this room?
No.
Say no. I'll ask you, how long have you been driving? Probably a long time. 20 years or more.
Yeah, 25.
25 years. Safe to say at some point in your driving career, you've exceeded the posted speed limit?
Yes.
Okay. We all have. So that'll be the other one I'll ask you. Have you ever driven over the posted speed limit?
Okay.
And you say no.
I can't tell you the, well, okay. I got a story, but I can't tell you.
You?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Ooh, wow. What year is it?
16.
Really? Ooh, I bet that thing's, isn't it like 700 horsepower?
707.
707. Oh, man. Those things are so cool. Huh. So, that's an easy question to answer. No, I get it. That's cool. So, we'll go through these in order so that you know when those intentional lies will come up. So they're easy to remember. The lights and driving over the speed limit.
Okay.
Those are the only two lies you're going to tell me.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's going to be only two questions that involve this situation. You can call those relevant questions that pertain to the case. Okay? So I'm going to start setting these questions up right now. The way this works, you asked about kind of how these instruments work. What's going to happen is, during the test, you're going to take this. You don't have a zipper, but you can probably clip it right to your, I don't know if the string might work. You can try it on the string or just try it on your shirt like that. Just so it's under your mouth. And we'll calibrate the mic so it's picking up your voice before we start the test. But during the test, I'll ask you these questions. You'll answer yes or no. The way this works is, it's called the computer voice stress analysis. And I guess the science behind it is that Randy and I, we do interviews all the time. And we deal with people that are not like you, but people that have had a lot of run-ins with us, people that are what we might call like career criminals and career liars. You know what I mean? And somebody can lie to me all day long, and they're so used to it. How would I know? You know, some people have very obvious tells. Some people are so convincing, it's hard to tell. So the way this works is, even though someone can mask all the outward signs of lying, what this does is monitors the amount of stress in your voice when you respond to a question. So when you're responding to a question that has no consequence and you're being truthful, that's going to show me the graph of your voice. It records your response and it shows me what the graph looks like. When we lie, even the most experienced liars, there's an involuntary response. So our vocal cords tighten up. That creates enough stress, even with somebody that's used to lying, that'll be indicated on these graphs. And that's kind of the science behind it. So please, it's not about being like, well, I'm nervous or anything like that. That's just, I don't want you to worry about that. Everybody that would come in here to talk to us is going to be nervous. That's why we do those the irrelevant questions. Okay? So let's go through these questions. I'll get them written down, and I want you to tell me if you think they're fair or not. Okay? Okay, so I've got our 9 questions. The intentional lies that you're going to tell me are 2 and 8. You don't have to worry about keeping like track of like, okay, is this 2 or is this 8? I don't want you to worry about that. You'll just know when I ask you about the lights, when I ask you about driving over the speed limit, that's the only time that I'm asking you to lie.
Okay.
All your other responses, I just need a truthful yes or no.
Okay.
Okay? So question number 1, I'm going to ask you, is your name Michael? And you would respond,
Yes.
yes. Question number 2, I would ask you, are the lights on in this room?
No.
Right. Question number 3, I would ask you, is today Wednesday?
Yes.
Question number 4, this is a relevant question to the case. And I'm kind of just going to get right to the point, that's why we're here, and I'm going to ask you, did you arrange to have the diner burned down? Okay. Question 5, I'm going to ask you, is this the month of December?
Yes.
Question 6 is the other relevant question. I'm going to get right to the meat and potatoes of it. I'm going to ask you, did you set the fire in the diner?
No.
Okay. Question 7, I'm going to ask you, are we in the state of New York?
Yes.
Question 8, have you ever driven over the posted speed limit?
No.
Question 9, am I wearing boots?
Yes.
See my boots here.
For sure.
Yeah. And in this weather, right?
And your block.
Yeah. You a shooter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took it off before I came in.
That's probably a good idea. What kind do you have?
I carry my MP40.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I like. But
Yeah. I think that's kind of similar to the Glocks, isn't it? In a way.
I never was a polymer guy.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
one's the only one.
Yeah. All right, Michael, have you click that on? And we're getting a little bit closer up to your.
Maybe it's twisted.
I'm wondering if you clicked it on the other string.
It's the twist of the cord.
Yeah. Okay. You're kind of a soft-spoken guy, and I am too. But when you respond, just a clear yes or no, in a reasonably loud response. You don't have to yell or anything like that. As I'm going through the questions, just let me finish the entire question before you respond.
Okay.
And if for some reason I repeat a question, or if I go back and repeat 2 questions, that's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just maybe it didn't pick up your voice, and I'm going to re-ask it. Okay.
Okay.
Right now, I'm just going to calibrate that mic, make sure it's picking up your voice. Okay. Just to calibrate this, I'm just going to ask you a few irrelevant questions, and you're going to answer yes or no. Are you sitting down?
Yes.
Are you standing up?
No.
That was a case in point before. Just let me get all the way done with the question. Yep, that's okay. Are you standing up?
No.
Are you sitting down?
Yes.
Are you standing up?
No.
Remember, you have to speak up a little bit louder than that. Are you around the nose? Are you standing up?
Yes. No.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm picking up your voice fine. It's fine. No worries. Are you standing up?
No.
Are you standing up?
No.
Can you do one more of each? Are you sitting down?
Yes.
Are you standing up?
No.
Okay, let's run through it. We'll just say it's 9 questions. The actual test itself, I always spend a lot more time yakking about it than the actual test takes, so it goes by pretty quick. Is your name Michael?
Yes.
Are the lights on in this room?
No.
Is today Wednesday?
Yes.
Did you arrange to have the diner burned down?
No.
Is this the month of December?
Yes.
Did you set the fire in the diner?
No.
Is this the month of December?
Yes.
Did you set the fire in the diner?
No.
Are we in the state of New York?
Yes.
Have you ever driven over the posted speed limit?
No.
Am I wearing boots?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty simple, isn't it, right? Now, what we always do on these is, and we don't tell you this before, just because I want you to get through it and get it out of your system, we always use the first one as just a practice run. So we don't evaluate your first one, we just let you get through it, answer the questions, and know exactly what to expect, so that there's no, I don't want you worrying about how the test is done or anything like that. So we just do that so that the folks can get the test done, get through it, they understand how exactly the test works. We'll do the same thing one more time, and that's the one that we evaluate. Okay. I will tell you obviously if you're being truthful with me on all these answers, except for the ones I asked you to lie about, getting through the test and being able to answer and respond to those questions, when you're being truthful, your stress level on those responses is going to go down, having gotten through it. And obviously the opposite would be true if you're lying. Then when I ask you those relevant questions, the more you have to think about that you're telling a lie, your stress level is probably going to go up. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Okay, so let's do that same thing, and a couple of these were a little bit tricky to hear you, so maybe just a little bit clearer on your response, if you don't mind, just a little bit louder. All set then? Okay. Is your name Michael?
Yes.
Are the lights on in this room?
No.
Is today Wednesday?
Yes.
Did you arrange to have the diner burned down?
No.
Is this the month of December?
Yes.
Did you set the fire in the diner?
No.
Are we in the state of New York?
Yes.
Have you ever driven over the posted speed limit?
No.
Am I wearing boots?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Those responses came through very well on that one, so
I
thank
moved
you.
over to it.
Good. All right. You can pop that mic off. You still okay? Need water, use the bathroom, anything like that? Yeah, you're probably right.
My kids, they're at my house. I haven't seen them in a while.
And how old are they?
16, 17, just turned 17, 10, and 8.
Oh, well, that's cool. I'm surprised you don't look old enough to have a 17-year-old, but
How old do you think I am?
I was thinking probably my age, early 30s.
41.
But no kidding.
Well, December 22nd.
Oh, good. Yeah, yeah, I would have never thunk it.
So what's the fastest you've driven?
Boy, I think I was on a pursuit on the thruway one time. I think we got up to like 115, and that was more than enough for me. Do I dare ask?
167.
Holy smokes.
I shouldn't be telling off.
No, I'm curious. I've admired, I'm kind of a car guy,
That was
so.
5th gear. I still had another one to go.
Holy cow. That's crazy. It probably didn't really feel that fast.
Floats.
Isn't that something?
It's stupid.
Wow. Yeah. Stupid and fun, though.
The deal was like, well, you'll get 200 out of it. I'm like, where?
Well, you gotta be like a freaking huge airport or something to, yeah. That's crazy. Okay, Mike, give me a second. I'm gonna go get Randy, and we'll go over these together, and you can eat. Randy's coming in. We can go over these together. So here's your 9. This is what I was talking about with your or whatever when you record your voice. So these are the 9 questions that I asked you, and the way we weight these, or the way we evaluate these charts, what we're looking for is when I ask you all those questions that we said were irrelevant. There's no stress involved, there's no consequence. Like number 1, when I ask you, is your name, I think that was, is your name Michael? It goes up and right immediately back down, almost like the shape of a Christmas tree. That's indicative of a stress that has, or an answer that has no stress in it. Or a truthful answer. 2 is that intentional lie about are the lights on in this room. This one is kind of similar to this, but it starts to, that pattern starts to expand a little bit, and it starts to almost form a block. It's kind of slight in this one. Remember the other lie about the drive-in?
Yeah.
That's 8. That's a good one. See how that forms a nice block? So that's kind of what we look for when we're looking for stress in an answer or deception. You see anything on here that would be, that you would think would be similar to that might show some of that?
A block, right?
Yeah, the block. Any other responses that you might think are showing some blocking?
6.
6, okay. Any other ones?
4's got.
Yeah, 4.
Good.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, it's got, so we can almost draw a square around. That's what we look for when there's that stress. Like I said, when someone's telling, no matter how convincing it might seem to us, we might not be able to detect it, but that stress still indicates in your voice. This is an irrelevant question. This goes up and down. 4, that's a nice block. You can almost draw a square right around that. Okay? 6 is an even better block. That's what we would call a hard block. Okay? So this and this is what I would call a deceptive answer. And number 4 was, did you arrange to have the fire set at the diner? Number 6 was, did you set the fire at the diner? So like I said, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to give you a hard time, but we got to get to the bottom of this. And
that's what all I've wanted all day. I mean, this is, like I said, this is just a tool, Mike. But it adds right to the puzzle. Remember that puzzle that I'm creating? And this just adds to that puzzle. It can't be used against you in the court of law, but it adds to that puzzle that, in lack of a better term, my opinion on what happened, it confirms it. You did something inside the building. You're in a real desperate state right at the moment. I know you are. I get it. I know it's hard. It's hard to admit when you're wrong, when you've done something wrong. All of that is hard. But we know. And it's just building. Don't you just tell me the truth? You're going to walk out the door regardless. If you tell me the truth, then we can move on. You picked out the 2 that show a block. And it's the 2 relevant questions that were asked of you. What did you do?
it's okay, Mike. We're just trying to
Just want to get to the bottom.
just explain what happened.
What happened, man? Don't you just tell us the truth? Maybe it got out of hand. I don't know. Maybe it did something that you didn't know was going to take the whole building. I don't know. You need to make sense of it. We've beaten this horse to death. And I just really want to know your side. Really like to hear your side. If you were to tell me the truth, what are you afraid of? Obviously, just getting arrested.
I've just never been in trouble for anything. I mean, this whole thing's strange.
Right. I understand that. And I've tried to be...
You know, I lose my pistol permit if I tell you I did something wrong. I mean,
But that's all stuff that can be dealt with down the road. You know, that's not permanent. That's, you know, those are
things that are...
You just get through.
Right.
And
Remember, this is just a tool.
mm-hmm.
It's just a tool. I've really went over this case with you. I've really been an open book with the exception of a few things that I know that I haven't told you. I've told you about my meeting with the DA's office. I've told you about, there's so many things that I've told you that I normally don't tell people. I know there was something that you did in there. We just want truthfulness. If you tell me the truth, you're still gonna walk out the door today. I will keep you in the loop on what we're gonna do. I've already went over what charge it would be that you would be charged with. I mean, I've went over everything with you and how it would go down even. I mean, I've tried to be an open book for as much as I can, considering the circumstances in which we're working under.
Mhm.
This just adds to the same thing that we've been beaten to death with each other today on all the facts that are around the fact, and it all comes down to really between 4 to 6 minutes. When you leave that place is on fire, and that doesn't happen in 4 to 6 minutes unless it is humanly placed. If it's done, there's fire science to that.
Mike, go ahead, Randy.
Yeah.
Could we at least, as a starting point, could you explain to us, because we've already said, obviously we know what happened. We're just trying to get all the details worked out, get everything out in the open. Can we start with how it started? Because the fire might have got out of control, like Randy said, might have gone farther than it was intended to go. Where did it start?
There was no fire when I left.
Does it make sense to you that in a case like this, that obviously it's going to look better down the road as this moves on through the process? If we have someone where it's so obvious what happened, and we have someone that finally comes forward and says, you know what, I did make a mistake, I fell on hard times, and I did something out of character, like you said, you've never been in trouble. And I think that's why you've been granted all these courtesies that,
Some people don't get it.
right, because we can tell that you're not a criminal or anything like that. Would you think that would look better for you down the road to say that, look, I made a mistake, I messed up, I did something wrong, I know that, I want to make it right?
Well, of course it probably would.
Right. And it's just the right thing to do, isn't it? I mean, you believe in right and wrong. So, I guess the way we were raised, if you do something wrong, the right thing to do is say, look, I did something wrong. And that's hard to do. We've all been there. It's not an easy thing to do, but that's what's right, isn't it? So, isn't that what should happen here? You're the only guy that can change that, right?
If I had been doing something wrong, is there ever less than a pound?
At this point right now, with what we're up against, the captain actually read you the law. So that is what we have to start with. It's the cooperation, it's the helping out that will get you potentially a reduction of that down the road. Without any cooperation, your hands, this case would just be in the DA's hands, and that. All I can tell you is I can't promise you anything. We're not in the terms of promising anything. All I can tell you is we have to start off with the charge of arson third. And from there, your cooperation, your truthfulness, all of that is definitely going to favor you down the road. I can honestly tell you, with dealing with the criminal justice system for the 29 years I've been involved in it, there's very few times that I haven't seen people at least offered some type of reduction with cooperation.
Especially someone with no criminal record.
Right. You have no criminal record. And I even read to you the law as of January of 1st of 2020. An arson third is an appearance ticket to appear in court. That doesn't make it not a felony, though. I want you to remember that. It still would be a felony charge even January 1st. It's just, it's dealt with a little differently. I've even explained that to you. So why I explained that to you was for nothing more than the reason that right now in our jail currently, people that are in here, I'm saying arson third charge, they're being released because come January 1st, that particular charge is not a bailable charge for bail. Does that make sense to you? That's why they're going to be released. I told you our jail population has dropped from 199 to 183 just in the last week, because they're letting people out right now due to these new changes. But that I don't want to change your opinion. What we want here is truthfulness. If you tell us the truth, what happened, from there, you're going to walk home, or you're going to go home. You're going to go to work tomorrow. All I can tell you is my investigation will continue, and when I'm ready to charge you, I'm not going to pile you with a bunch of charges. I've told you what charge I was going to go with. That's arson third. I will give you a convenience call to let you know, hey, we need to have you arraigned on this, and we'll do that. I'm not going to run out and secretly get a warrant for you, come and grab you at work, and leave your truck hanging somewhere or your girlfriend hanging somewhere. I'm not going to do that, or in front of your kids. I would respect you to the fact that I would call you on your phone and say, hey, Mike, listen, we got to take care of that shit. That's what I can offer you. That's my promise to you, what I can do for you. As far as after the arrest, I know you'd have lots of questions going through your brain. What happens to me? We've talked about, yes, your pistol permit would be suspended. I can't lie to you to that. That's what is going to happen. There's no two ways about it. But that happens if you get in an argument with your wife nowadays. So that stuff, like he said, you can deal with down the road. As far as the charge itself, I can't sit here and promise you a reduction. All I can tell you is from past practice and my knowledge of the criminal justice system that there are breaks given to people every day, especially to those who have a job, who have families, who haven't been in trouble before, who are honest and trying, and maybe they got on and they fell on hard times and they did something stupid. People do stupid things. We all can agree with that. I'm not here to hold you or to look down upon you for doing whatever you did. Whatever you did, you did. Okay? We're not here to judge you, but we're here to find truth. And I know you know the truth, and we'd really like to hear it. Then you can get out of here and we will deal with this at a later date.
Would I go to jail?
You're not going to jail today. And I don't even know if you will anyways because of this new deal. All I can tell you is your charge is going to be arson third. I did not lie to you, and we're on a camera right now. No, I'm on a camera telling you that arson third and arson fourth are both charges that do not require bail or not allowed to have bail as of January 1st. So I can't imagine just before Christmas of 2019, they're going to shove you in jail on an arraignment and want bail money.
Especially with somebody that lives right here in town.
Right. If there's no, you have a job. It's not like you're some transient that they don't think they will show back up in court. Bail is it's not used to punish. Bail is used
To make you show up.
to make you show up. But that's what's being eliminated. It's called bail reform in New York. But like I don't want anything really to affect why you want to tell us the truth. I want you to do it for the right reasons. I think you are struggling financially. That was a big headache in your life. And you had a weak moment. And you did something that you're not proud of right now. But I'm not looking down upon you for doing it. People deal with things differently. Everybody deals with things differently. But at least then, if you could tell us the truth, you at least then could, I think you'd set yourself free. Because I know you're burdened with a whole bunch of stuff right now on your shoulders. From your recent divorce to all of the shit that's going on, dealing with insurance companies, dealing with my dumb ass, dealing with everything. I get it. I really do. I mean, I'm a human. I can put myself in your shoes. They suck. And then trying and dealing with two people in front of you and then just being in this position to have to tell the truth and all this stuff I know it's hard. It's hard. But I think you know that we know more than what we're even telling you. This just kind of tells us that all the facts that we do know, we know they're not made up facts. And either, I know that by telling us the truth, I know you're going to just say, oh, God. You're probably going to sleep better tonight. Everything, because that's stress. And I know it's going to be stressful thinking of an arrest down the road, but what you don't have to stress about is me just coming knocking on your door or at your work and coming to get you. I would have the respect to call you and deal with him. Probably it's not going to be this week because tomorrow I'm swamped.
Is it not going to be January 1st?
Yes, it'd probably be before January 1st. Because the simple fact it's only the 11th. So I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be before that. I mean, I can hold off a few days, and you got to remember, I can go into an arraignment and say, he did cooperate, he does live local, he's never had any problems before, because now I'll do a criminal history on you, and if it shows clean, I will offer that into the arraignment proceeding. I don't have any reason to want to lock you up for this, per se.
Christmas is coming.
I got you.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Christmas is tough.
Yeah,
I don't want to think you from your kids. I don't. And I know you think I might be blowing smoke.
Well, I get my kids
I'm
on
not.
Christmas morning this year. I don't usually.
Oh, okay. That's the last thing we want is future lists that.
Yeah.
We don't, yeah.
When I read you today, the charges that come January 1st, I didn't lie to you. Arson and arson third is on that list. That list is, I know what the judges now in our centralized arraignment are going off from and letting those people go on releasing them on their own recognizance with no bail. because it's coming. So the point is, across New York State, those charges that I was reading to you earlier when you and I were just bullshitting, all those charges across the state, think of all across the state of New York, all the people that are getting arrested every day for those particular charges. And say they were just still slamming everybody into jail on those charges. And then come January 1st, they got to have a max exodus of several thousand prisoners that were in jail. No, they're doing it now. It's happening right now. Every day we're letting people, they're reviewing cases of those people who are in on the charges for which bail is not going to be considered anymore. This is one of them. And then we're going to couple that with a person who's never been in trouble, lives in Mayville, has a very good job, has family in Mayville. Dude, I can't understand. I can't make a promise, but I can tell you that all this stuff is going to work in your favor.
Does that kind of answer your question, or kind of set you at ease a little bit about maybe some of the things that you were worried about?
Christmas bothers me if I said something wrong.
Well, but I don't want you to worry about that. I think we could, when we're dealing with somebody that's local, somebody that's being truthful, our word goes a long way.
It does.
The same with the judge. So if we said, look, this guy's got a family, like I said, we're not in the promise making, but I think you of all people would have a very good chance that you're not going to miss Christmas or anything like that.
You should make it so I don't miss Christmas. Couldn't you?
How's that?
Putting it off. If I told you that I did something.
It's a good, you put me in a point where I have to think about legally, can I do that?
I'd come back in 5 days and tell you something bad if I had to, if it was true.
Sure. So what you're thinking is if for some reason I've thought about it or discussed it.
If I could prolong it is what you're wanting, but
I'm petrified.
Sure, I understand.
right. No, I get that. And we've talked.
I've never done anything wrong, Randy.
Right.
I'll be 41 on the 22nd.
It'd be hard for me to make a deal like that just because there are certain things. However, I mean, I can go to your arraignment. I would be at your arraignment. I can tell the judge, and I mean, I can tell the judge, listen, he's got kids, he's got a good job. I know you got a good job. He's local. I can talk with the DA's office. I can call the DA's right now. Matter of fact, let me call the DA and see what they allow me to give parameters on how I can extend our courtesy to what you are requesting. Does that make sense to you? Call in and I'll speak right in here. Hey John, I'm sorry to bother you at home. I just got a really quick question. That case I discussed with you earlier, the fire, we had Mike here. He had failed the CBSA, and I think he wants to tell us the truth, but he's concerned. I mean, he's scared just like anybody else would be. I read the new law coming up that arson third, that's what we're looking at here, is one of those charges that bail won't be required on or won't be taken on. Okay. Well, that means That's when there's a mass exodus of people in the jail, correct? Okay. So I don't want to promise anything. Obviously, we're in a professional atmosphere. I don't want to do any of that. But at the same time, I want to ease his mind. And if I went to his arraignment, I mean, he's local, he's got a good job, he's got 3 children in Mayville, he's cooperating. It's one of the charges that don't do that, and he has no criminal history, none. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yep. Bye-bye. There you go. You won't be going to jail.
That's what he said?
Yep. You will not.
That's
It's the same, but we can't give those immediate directions. And just for the record, we're on camera. I'm telling you that I just got done off the phone with the ADA. And that is one of the charges that is considered a non-violent felony come January 1st. And that will be treated as of December 18th. It gets treated as a non-violent, but even now, even as we speak, because it's only the 11th, that he will make sure that it is not created. So there's that. So basically what would happen at this point, because I know you're a guy that likes to know exactly what's happening.
Sorry.
That's okay. Dude, I get it. I do. So what would take place from this point, we would want truthfulness. And then from there, you're going to be let go. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to download your phone. You're going to call me. You got my number. I will bring your phone to you, wherever you're at work. I will then start getting my packet together, my charge together, okay? And then from there, I do up all my paperwork. I then call you and say, hey, what's your schedule like? I'll probably give you a couple different days. And then I'm pretty sure I'd probably have you come right to the centralized arraignment down here about the time that they convene. What time do they? 6 o'clock?
Well, because you in the morning and one in the evening too.
Mornings and evenings. And it's right here at the jail. What would be nice about that is that you could show up and it's like a one-stop shop. So you could come. It's a requirement to have your pictures and your picture and prints taken. We could do all of that, all in that one inconvenience of you that night. And then you would be formally charged, arraigned, and you're going to be released on what they call your own recognizance to appear at every stage from there on. That's basically, it will, I haven't lied a bit. It is definitely going to suspend your privilege to carry a pistol temporarily.
I'm co-registered with my dad, so he'll be able to have them, right?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. And then down the road, if with all your cooperation, you have no history. There's so many things that work in your favor here. You have a good job. All of that is going to play into how they adjudicate it. Like I said, you're going to be arrested for the arson. Third, how it gets adjudicated is that's outside my bailiwick here. All I can tell you is from past practice, from being involved in the system for 29 years, I've seen lots of things happen, and with a case like this, with all of the circumstances around it, I cannot imagine them just trying to stick it to you with an arson third, with your cooperation, with not having a history, all of that. It'd be different if you were a different person, and you didn't have a clean record, and you've been arrested, and you're constantly a Achilles heel to the law enforcement or to judges and all that. You're not. So with all that being said, man, why don't you just tell us the truth and you can get the heck out of here.
Will the insurance pay off in Genie or no?
I have no idea.
I didn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
Well, they're the last payee. I just didn't know if they were paid or not.
I have no idea.
But that's amazing. Oh, that was up to the insurance, yeah.
Do you know how it started?
No.
You're aware?
We have an idea, a good idea where. Only from the early on photos.
That's something that we were kind of hoping you would clear up for us. Just explain, start at the beginning, just kind of give us some of the details. That's what we're looking for, those details, yeah.
I feel like it's trapped.
I can,
That's an open book, man.
I can,
Understand. Definitely.
Randy and I worked a few cases and we've gone above and beyond and gone to extents that we would never typically go to for other people, but I just feel like this case is different.
I try to be respectful, and I'm just really wanting the truth. This is I know it's tough. It's always tough for anybody to sometimes tell the truth when they're in the position you're in. I've never been there, but I've dealt with enough people and interviewed enough people in my life that I know that it's got to be hard.
The place was supposed to be in retirement.
And I know it got hard.
Look at all the waitresses.
With the waitresses.
Is it right?
And with them leaving, and food prices rise, prices gotta rise, and you've got employees giving
Hundreds of dollars a day
away. So you get rid of them, and then you're the bad guy for doing it. I get all of that. See, in the progression, that was one of the progressions in which brought us to this interview. It's just one of the progressions. It's like stepping up a ladder and getting higher and higher, stepping down the ladder from a roof and going lower and lower. It's probably a better analogy, but that was one of the steps. Just getting behind in some bills. There's no doubt getting behind with divorce. I got a good friend right now going through a divorce, and you even told me the numbers earlier, what you're paying. It's mind-boggling.
$40 a week.
Holy cow.
Yes, see, that's all of this adds to this ladder, and
But nobody sees that.
well,
I can
right now, I do.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying.
That's all part of your defense to something too. We talked about all of this.
That's why we do this. So
That's why we do it.
So that you can, that's what this is. It's you giving us your explanation of everything, throwing in all the details of what led up to it, and that's the purpose of this. So that's what we're looking for, just trying to get the details and
Wanting to know where it started, how it started. We kind of know why it started. I mean, we're under, I think we figured that one out. It's the where and the how. Those would be questions in the court of law. We have a good idea where. How you hold that. You hold that knowledge.
Do you have any guesses?
I don't want to guess. I don't want to play guess this and guess that.
I'm just curious.
Well, you tell me the truth. You tell me the truth, and then I'll tell you what we thought.
Okay.
How did it occur?
Bag of chips.
Where at?
Where do you think?
No, never. Where do you?
In the storeroom.
In the storage room? Just one bag of chips. That's it. As far as the safe.
I swear to God, that is in there. I never took that. I never took the register or the screen. I never took anything out of there. That, God, honest truth, I did not take anything out of there. I walked out empty-handed. Except for the $320 or whatever that was from the day in my pocket, because the rest was credit card.
What was in the safe?
There was 4 tens, 4 or 5 fives.
Why wouldn't you have taken that money knowing that you set the chips on? We're going to set the chips on fire.
It would have been obvious.
Obvious because you thought we'd find that safe and you could say, hey, I had startup money in there for the following day.
I don't know. I really don't know what. I mean, there was.
Did you just kind of lose it?
Maybe.
Just emotionally, or? See, that's hard. See, even for me, and I don't even know you that well, man, but I feel bad for you. Like I said, there's criminals out there and there's people that are good people that do things wrong.
Sorry, I lied to you.
No, you're fine, man.
what's important is you did the right thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
So where we had a deal, so I'm going to tell you where we thought it occurred. We were missing that. We didn't know about that storage area, but that's right where we had the fire. If you walk down the side door, if you walk down your side door from the parking lot, right to the right, is right where we had the fire. So I think we did a pretty good job there.
It was locked in the back. Oh, hi. Toby.
Did you set the potato chips underneath something so it grabbed it? Just near the wall?
Mm-hmm. They'll burn for 15 minutes.
The chips. How did you start the bag?
Lighter.
With a lighter. Okay.
And all because the reasons that we talked
It
about.
wasn't even taking the money, it was getting Bob and Julie paid and getting the damn thing out of my head.
Right.
I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, that place is stressing me
I
out.
couldn't stand the people, I couldn't stand employees, I couldn't take it anymore being, which now it's gonna be.
Well, this conversation is just going to stay between us until I do anything. So, are you okay mentally?
I'll be
Do
fine.
you want to call your girlfriend over, or?
No, the kids are at the house. I haven't seen them when they'd be going to bed soon.
I mean, you're okay. I mean,
I'm not gonna do anything.
sometimes when people get involved in this stuff and you're not a bad person, you have a conscience. We just want to make sure you're okay. Just keep working hard, keep plugging away at work. I will, I've made a promise to you, I'll work with you and, make this as painless as I can on you. Okay. Is there anything else that we should know?
That money box is in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where that could have gone. The only thing that could have happened.
Just when they were thrashing the roof. That's my thought. Because I run upstairs for everything.
But things, and you're right. It had to have been at some point, but it wasn't when we deliberately, slowly.
No, it was when they knocked it off and tried to get it out. Because did you see it when they were taking the roof off with the excavator, not with backhoe? It was just.
Yeah. So if that's still in there, I don't know, when they do the destruct, I don't know, we'll make sure that they know to kind of keep an eye out for it, for whatever it's worth. I mean, you should have it. The other thing is tomorrow, I have that drawer too that's got a little bit of money in it. It's all your other stuff, but I still got to give it back to you. I don't want to go throw it back at the scene, so I can give that back to you. Your phone I'll bring to you wherever you're at, so you don't have to be inconvenienced with that. So you went in, you've got your money. Was that all true? How much money you got?
Absolutely.
Okay, around $600.
Well, it was cash-wise, it was $3-something because the credit card slipped.
And
Or the other half of whatever.
all right, you think of anything else?
How long did you stay inside it? And I don't know if this is that important, but you lit it and you could see that it was starting to go, right? And then just left. But you knew that it would burn for those chips burned for quite a while.
No, I tried it before.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you looked up on the internet or anything, or when did you make up your mind you needed to get rid of?
That moment.
At that moment?
Oh, the day before, the first time.
Why was it? What triggered you to all of a sudden say that I've had enough?
The money, I just can't pay anything. I was taking my own money and paying payroll. Because one of my people had money. I didn't want to go without a paycheck.
Wow.
So at least made sure they were paid. But I never took a salary from that place.
Were you aware they were going to shut your electric off?
No, because I was going to give them a check. I was going to put it in the slot.
Did you receive a letter though?
Yeah, but then I talked to Jen that day. I called her. And she said, you just get the check here. And I said, I'll put it in the slot. So.
How much money, and this is a professional question, I'm not being nosy, how much money do you have right now?
In my business account?
Yeah.
It'll be negative as soon as the food check clears. Because I don't have any coming in.
Right. And how much in your personal account would you have been able to pull from?
I have $2,500 right now. I get paid every week.
Yeah.
I mean, I had more, but then the POS system money came out. That was $1,000. All out of my personal account.
Yeah. See, I know how things, these things just spiraled out of control. Well, at any rate.
Started with the worst. It's went downhill from there.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, I'll just plug away on this. I'm off Friday. I'm off Saturday and Sunday. So not a whole lot is going to be done on those 2 days. I've worked almost 3 days straight, like tirelessly. So I'm not so sure I'm going to work a full day even tomorrow. So just continue working hard. Things will work out. They really will. Just so you know, I know to some people who've never been in trouble before, they think this is the end of the world. Just remember, think of all the people that you know that have been in trouble before. Think of all of them. They sometimes
$20,000 to $30,000 though, or hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, I don't know, the only thing I can do is pay bankruptcy, I guess, and I don't even know if I can do that. I have no idea, I've never done it.
Well, that's all stuff that, yeah, obviously.
I know it's not your guys' thing, I know.
I just want to make sure you're okay, Melanie, you're okay going home,
Yeah, I won't pull the trigger.
dealing with everything?
You reach out to us if you need.
Yeah.
If you have questions.
If you have questions or anything,
Just starting to get worried about where it's at. That's okay. Just get started with the
No, I'm
office.
worried.
just don't think about, because if I'm off Friday, I'm off Saturday, Sunday, and I don't know how hard I'm gonna work tomorrow, so, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, man? All right, well, let's get you out of here so you can get.
Mike, you leave me my number in case when he's out. I don't know a whole lot about the case, but if you need anything other outside of that, if you need to reach out to me for anything, you leave me my number, okay? I don't have a card on me.
All right.
I work in the afternoon, so just remember to take care of yourself through this, okay? You get to it, all right? Hang on.
I'm gonna let you off with side door here.
Mike Ellis was sentenced to 7 weekends in jail and $40,000 in costs.